Hi, I'm Susan with Mommy High Five, and today I'm going to talk to you about my favorite kids-safe phones. There are 4 that are most popular on the market today, and so I'm going to tell you we have tried out each of these phones at least for several months, some of them for a couple of years. And I'm going to just share with you my favorite things about them and some of the things I don't love, and I will also go through what my favorite is and what my kids' favorite is, just to give you an idea of what you might like, what your kids might like, and what might be the best fit for your family. Before we dive into the specifics of each phone, I'd like to tell you what our favorites are. So our top 2 are the Bark phone and the Troomi phone, which are very neck and neck for me. Then comes the Pinwheel, and finally the Gabb Phone Pro 3. The Troomi phone has more apps, and you again can choose to approve those apps or not. They also have a kids-safe browser if you want your child to have some access to the internet, which you decide which websites they can visit. Or if you want to choose an unrestricted Google Chrome browser, you can do that. Then also no browser is an option. You can read text messages on the parent portal. Troomi is pretty easy to control as far as parental controls go. I find it very intuitive and easy to use. I like that I can restrict what apps my kids are using. Personally, for me, this is my favorite phone. I love it. My kids think it's better than the other 2, but they would prefer the Bark phone. So the Bark phone has probably the most options of any of these phones. You can choose whether or not you want whitelisted contacts, which probably depends on your preferences, on your child's age, your child's maturity level. So you can choose whether or not you have control over who they can contact. With Bark, there are a lot more app options because the kids have access to the app store, and then you get a notification saying that they want to add an app, and then you choose whether or not they have access to that app. One thing I don't like, you cannot read your child's text messages on the parent app. However, Bark has what they call Bark Premium included with the price of the phone, and it allows you to receive alerts from Bark if there's anything that they deem to be unsafe that your child is looking at or communicating with. Pictures, text messages, websites, videos. They will send you a notification saying we feel that this is a potential dangerous issue, so that you can look into it. If that happens, then they will send you the text message or the email that is included on the app to show you what your child is doing that they think could potentially be dangerous. You can choose whether or not your child has access to the browser. There are more music app options with the Bark than there are with the other phone options on this list. There are also, according to my children, better games and better apps with the Bark. That's why they prefer the Bark to any of the others. But for me, the Troomi is the best. It's the easiest for me to control. It allows me to read text messages. Next is the Pinwheel phone. The Pinwheel phone has vetted apps that you can choose to approve or not approve for your child. However, they have been known to have problems with kids hacking the apps and finding a loophole to get onto the internet through a VPN on those apps. When that happens, Pinwheel works hard to close that loophole so that it's not possible for kids to get on the internet anymore. but it's happened multiple times, and that's a concern for me as a parent. There is no actual browser, but kids have found a way to get onto the internet. Pinwheel has a parent app. You can read all of your child's text messages on the parent app. They can't delete text messages without your permission. I think my least favorite thing about Pinwheel is that it requires the Pinwheel, a monthly subscription for the Pinwheel software. Pinwheel does not actually provide the cell service, so you have to find another carrier and pay a separate carrier every month. So you're paying 2 separate bills every month. That also can be a problem if you have a problem with the phone. Do you go to the carrier? Do you go to Pinwheel? So for me, Pinwheel was okay, but it was certainly not our favorite. The Gabb Phone Pro is another option for a kid's phone. It has unlimited call, text, and video calling, which is optional if parents approve. It does have the capability of having apps. Gabb has vetted third-party apps, over 100 of them, and parents can decide which ones they want to allow their children to have access to. It does flag and block messages and photos depending on what's in them. If they deem that there's porn or nudity or bullying, violence of any sort, drug talk, then it will flag or block those messages and tell the parents. One thing I really don't like about this phone is that there are no parental controls. You can't control, besides what apps are on there, you can't control screen time at all. And for me, that's important. But for an older teen, that might be okay if transitioning them into learning how to use a phone and learning how to manage their time with a phone. This one has Gabb Music as an option, but it's the only option, and it does require a separate fee. So if you're looking for music streaming with accounts that you already have, another phone would be probably a better option for that. With this phone, parents cannot see a child's text messages. So if that's important to you, other than blocked or flagged messages, you will not be able to see your child's text messages. But then again, if that's for an older teen, maybe that's something that you are okay with. There is an optional whitelist that parents can add for contacts, meaning the kids could only text those people, but it is only for text and video chats. So you can't control who is calling your child or who the child is calling. For us, we've seen a few spam calls because of that. So just be aware that that's, if you want a whitelist, you will not have a whitelisted phone calling with the Gabb. Hopefully this gives you some good information to help you decide what's the right choice for your family, and leave us questions or comments if there's something else that you would like to know.